What's going on, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers? This is your boy, Porter Rock 77, your only friend in these YouTube streets, back with another video. Check out the description box. There you'll see the link to my Twitter. Hit me up with a follow there so we can continue the conversation. And for everybody that supports my channel, thank you so much. I appreciate it. My channel's growing nicely. It's because of friends and family, just like you guys. So as you can see from my channel, I haven't uploaded a video in a while. Just work got me busy and stuff like that. So I was in the dark for a little bit. So I come back, catch up on some videos, some podcasts, some Twitter conversation. So both Sony and Microsoft released their financial statements and yada yada. They make money. That's awesome. That's fantastic. But I'm seeing a new development. I'm seeing something new conversations happening. Well, it's not really new, but pretty much predominant conversation. And it's gamers, certain gamers. Now, remember, when I say gamers, I don't mean every single gamer. I'm just talking about the gamers that kind of believe in this particular philosophy, and it's gamers who don't care about exclusives, but they care about the profits of their preferred platform. I already seen some Twitter accounts. I've seen some people who have podcasts. People who are really into conversational gaming and stuff. They think people who talk about exclusives are fanboys. That's the new thing now. Now they're trying to create a narrative that if you are fighting for exclusives, or if you're criticizing about a platform for the lack of exclusives, you are a fanboy. You're the one that's toxic. Funny, this wasn't happening in 2013, 2014, 2015. That was okay. To be honest, those were normal conversations for decades. PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Super Nintendo versus Genesis, Nintendo Entertainment System versus Master System versus TurboGrafx 16, and yada and on. Saturn, Dreamcast, all this stuff. Xbox 360 versus PS3. This was all normal conversation about platforms that don't have exclusives. People even trying to create narratives and ideas and arguments that exclusives are anti-consumer and that exclusives only benefit the company and not the gamers. Creating all these new things simply really for one reason. It isn't because they're worried about and championing the gamer. I don't believe in that bullshit. That's bullshit. Because these guys weren't there 3-4 years ago. These same dudes, when PlayStation didn't have a lot of exclusives or wasn't pushing out the big exclusives in bulk quantity like they are now, they weren't there saying that PlayStation should be ragged on because exclusives only benefit the consumer. Only benefit the company, yada, 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 yada. They didn't make these statements. In fact, they were at the front line saying the reason they bought an Xbox was because of exclusives. That Microsoft is bringing the games. They didn't care about power. They didn't care that it had crappy RAM or whatever. They didn't care about the Kinect camera that ultimately failed, that is pretty much useless. But now, if you hold the Xbox to the exclusive standard, you're toxic, you're anti-consumer. Let's make this simple. Those guys, they know what the hell we're talking about. They're just fanboying and slaving all console. But you that come to my channel, you come to this channel for the truth, for the real information. And the truth I give applies to all consoles. It's not a Sony thing. You could say, oh, Porter Rock's a fanboy. He's a Sony pony. No, it applies to the PlayStation brand. It applies to the Nintendo brand. It applies to any console brand. So what I'm about to say applies to everything. That's the difference between me and them. That will always be the difference between me and them. All right? Point one is, What is the goddamn point of that piece of plastic if it doesn't do anything different than the next one? If you got console A and it plays all the games of console B, why would you spend money on console B? What is the point of spending? Let's say console A costs, make up numbers, $300. Not a lot, right? And console B costs $300. Why are you going to buy both when console A does everything console B does? What does console B have to offer? That is why exclusives comes into play. And people are like, well, exclusive just forces you to buy a platform. Well, isn't that the fucking point? That if you're going to buy the platform, it does things that you can't already get? Imagine if Burger King sold the Big Mac exactly the way McDonald's has it. Not, the Burger King style. No, I'm talking literally the Big Mac. What would be the point of going to McDonald's? Imagine if the entire McDonald's menu was in Burger King. Exactly how McDonald's served it. Then why the hell would you go to McDonald's if you could get everything at Burger King and more shit? That is the damn point. That's what exclusives does. It gives reason for that console. If that console does everything any other platform does, sure, you can still buy that platform. I'm not saying people shouldn't buy an Xbox. If you want to buy an Xbox, buy an Xbox. You understand? But chances are you're going to be left out because that box is being replicated by another platform, but that platform has more to offer. So just like I said with console A and console B, sure, you can still buy console B if you choose to. You can still pay $300 for console B and make that your preferred platform. But make no mistake, are you getting the bang for your buck? Because console A is doing what console B is doing, plus more. That's the thing. And some people be like, well, I like because of features or services. Features can be copied. Last gen, party chat was a huge deal. Achievements was a huge deal. No one talks about that no more. No one talks about party chat and achievements being a big deal. Why? Because everybody copied it. PlayStation has trophies, PlayStation has party chat, iPhone has party chat. Everybody's copied this stuff. So features become irrelevant. Watch next gen, when the PlayStation 5 comes out, backwards compatibility talk will be dead in the water. No one will give two fucks about it. No one will be bragging about it, especially from the Xbox camp. You won't see big articles about it, nothing. Why? Because it's been copied all over. Everyone's doing it. You see? And I would wager the next Nintendo platform after the Switch would have backwards compatibility with the Switch. Then it just becomes another redundant feature everybody's doing. No importance. But what cannot be copied is exclusives. Especially compelling exclusives. What's sad is this acceptance of mediocrity. This acceptance of worrying about profits. This narrative that's trying to be created where gamers who want exclusives, who expect compelling exclusives from these platforms are considered toxic gamers, they're going to be the downfall of that brand. Plain and simple. Because they're not holding that brand accountability or accountable. They're slaving over the box. They're treating that box as if it's their kid or if it's a child. I see comments on Twitter where people get upset. Like, if I go to Twitter and I say, damn, Xbox is a shitty platform, somebody will reply back, oh, shut the fuck up, you stupid spick, I hope you die. Really? Over a damn box. That's how you talk to people. And it's guys like you that will fail this brand. Because you accept mediocrity. You prefer to be a slave. And you can't simply admit the things that are just wrong. Plain and simple. Listen, for around 3-4 years, you dudes have been lying about Xbox greatness. It was all Lies. It was all made up. It was fake. If all the shit you talked about was real, for example, Xbox have been bringing the games. Well, where the fuck are they now? How come there's no Rise 2 if it was so goddamn great? How come Sea of Thieves, Microsoft doesn't even want to touch? They're not even calling Ted Price to make a sequel. Ted Price publicly says he's waiting on Microsoft to call him. They're not calling. So if the game was that great, how come they're not interested in making a sequel? Where are all these titles that propelled this whole thing of greatness the first 2-3 years? They weren't compelling. People expect compelling titles on the platform. If they don't have compelling titles, some of these people are starting to wonder, then what's the point in owning it? Because of Call of Duty, you can play Call of Duty on any other box, plus compelling titles. That's what you guys don't get to see. They can play multiplats with compelling titles. That's what the box offers. And more people are seeing that. Because I will say the majority of people who game on Xbox are not slaves. They will cut the umbilical cord real quick. And if more and more people jump ship, if more and more people cut the umbilical cord, you slaves are not enough to go around and sustain the platform. You're not enough. You guys are not that big. The slave factory is not producing that many bots to sustain the life of Xbox. You need the common sense gamers. You need the casuals. You need the dudes that just enjoy platforms. But make no mistake, they have no allegiance to that box. If they can play the same shit on another console, they're going to go with the other console. Especially if their intention is to only own one console. So if their intention is to only own one console, I'm sorry to say, but having the ability to refund your games isn't a compelling argument. Being able to game gift, these things are not compelling arguments at all. All these things are copyable or copied. They can be replicated one way or another. They're pointless metrics that no one really gives a hell about. No one really goes by a console and be like, man, I'm so glad I can refund shit. That ain't it. Every platform has to have compelling exclusives. Every platform has to have compelling franchises. And every new platform has to define itself. Sure, you could continue on with long-standing franchises from before. The Mario, Zelda, Super Smash Brothers, Metroid, Halo, Gears, Forza, Uncharted, God of War, Gran Turismo. But you need to bring something new to the table to continue on. New franchises, new IPs, compelling. Stuff that makes people be like, I gotta get that. Because make no mistake, this year, Xbox is losing gamers. The platform's losing people. People are selling it, they're getting rid of it, they're buying PlayStations. The whole better version multiplats, people really don't give a shit about that. Not a big thing. Not saying that some gamers don't care. You have those that do, but a lot don't. Some ain't seeing the value in just owning a platform where they just primarily play the same games on another platform. So for that, just get the other platform and play more games, more exclusives, more big compelling titles. So that way they just don't stand there week after week, month after month, seeing all these great projects being talked about on this platform. They're not standing by, staying stuck and be like, oh man, PlayStation's coming out with these games. But, I'm pretty happy with my Xbox because, I enjoy Call of Duty and yeah. No. They're not slaving over that. They're like, I could play Call of Duty over there. Some people buying Fortnite on Xbox. They're like, why the fuck am I playing Fortnite on Xbox when I could play on PlayStation for free and eventually play Spider-Man? It's the same fucking games. You see what I'm saying? That's where compelling titles come into play. Number 2. I know that was a long number 1. But number 2. What is the goddamn point of hyping profits? And I'm not saying gamers who are into the industry, YouTube channels, guys who talk about the industry should understand that the growth of the company is important because that growth reciprocates into games and products that you get as a gamer. The problem is Microsoft's not doing that. I seen more reports, more news about Sony's growth in first-party development, their focus on restructuring to support and improve first-party development. Then I have Microsoft. And the funny part is, no one's fucking complaining about Sony's first party. As far as most people look, Sony's first party is fine. They have shit tons of developers. And the funny part is, some of those developers are already handling 2 projects, and others are becoming 2 project developers. Like Sucker Punch. They primarily had Psycho but moved on, and they pretty much only did Infamous, but now they have Ghost of Tsushima. So now you see, these developers on Sony are handling more than 1 game. And no one's here flipping out crying for Sony to do better. Yet they're still trying to do better. They see their strength and they're trying to push more content to the people about their platform. Sure, we're going to get freaking Red Dead Redemption and the Battlefields and the Maddens. That's all coming. EA, Ubisoft, Activision, they're always going to make games for every platform. That's nothing big. I mean, the only people that really is questionable on the type of support they get from third party is Nintendo. Switch, you never know what you're going to get. You might get this, you might get that. Who knows? PlayStation, you don't have to worry about that. PC, Xbox, you don't worry about that. But what you do worry about is the type of products the people who make the console make. And Sony's triple downing on their own development when nobody's really complaining about that. Yet everybody from every direction who owns an Xbox or would like to own an Xbox if it provides exclusive content are out there yelling from the tops of the mountains, from Mount Kilimanjaro, from K2, from whatever mountain you prefer. We all cannot scream loud enough that Microsoft First Party has to step it up, and they say nothing. Even something simple as a new development studio announcement, and they be like, hey, see you at E3 2018. They don't even have to mention the game. Just let us know you exist. Let us know it's been created. Let us know you fall under the umbrella of Microsoft Studio. But not even that. There's always going to be diehards that support a console, and that's fine. You support the brand that you like, whatever. But even the biggest diehards can't sustain a particular console for too long. I mean, I bought a Dreamcast, as many others. And we weren't big enough. We weren't strong enough. Gracias. All this kumbaya. I have people, again, why are you attacking gamers that are clearly showing Microsoft weakness? It's a weakness. Xbox not having exclusives, Microsoft having crappy first party. Even if you hear it over and over, you're damn right. Gamers should keep saying it over and over. Until it gets fixed, it's going to be kept said. And if some of you guys are tired of hearing it, then just close your ears. Stop reading the tweets. Move on. But it needs to be hammered. But a lot of you dudes, some of you dudes are constantly making excuses. The Xbox brand can't survive on just being a machine that just plays multiplats. It's not going to survive just doing that. It's not. It can't just simply be a box that plays games that every other box does. Because people are going to notice the value of that box is not enough. Paying $400 or $500 just to play Call of Duty and every other multiplat, when you can pay $400 or $500 on another platform that plays those same multiplats plus more games. Gracias. Put this over here. It's just not worth the value. And of course, people be like, "Oh, you Puerto Rico, you can't tell me what's worth value." Listen, I understand. There's gonna be diehards that support the Xbox. I have no doubt you guys are gonna ride and die until the last drop. The question is, do you really want your preferred platform to ever see that day? The day where Xbox is done. The day where Microsoft no longer makes consoles and they just provide games, support, and services to other platforms. Do you want to see Xbox continue to sustain? But Puerto Rock, Microsoft's making money. A lot of money is coming from the support and services they provide. Microsoft even makes money off of Sony. They bought Simply Gun. They bought PlayFabs. They bought Havoc. They bought all these services and support studios. That's how they're going to make primarily their money. That's where the big money is going to come from. And as more and more Xbox becomes a platform where it's primarily multiplats, how many people are going to go back and buy the box again? Some of you do, because it just says Xbox. It could be an empty box that says Xbox and you guys are going to buy it. Simply because it's Xbox. It is what it is. I ain't here to judge. But the amount of people that will go and buy that box just for multiplats, it's not a lot. You're not going to get them big numbers. It's going to shrink. It's going to shrink. And more gamers are just going to move on to a PlayStation platform. Or some will just bite the button and be like, you know, I'm going PC. That's just the reality. Pay $500 for just multiplats when you can pay $500 or $400, you know, whatever the price, for multiplats and exclusives. A company that consistently pushes out compelling titles. And when they release these compelling titles, these titles will be staples. They'll be franchises. Vice, truly one-and-done franchises or one-and-done games that have no chance of ever getting a sequel. So, my advice, if you're one of those pushing those silly narrative of gamers fighting for exclusives and you're calling them toxic gamers, stop it. Because they're just arguing stuff that's going to benefit you. Stop feeling sorry for plastic. Don't feel sorry for them. It needs exclusive. It needs compelling titles. If all it does is mediocre titles or just multiplats, you're going to lose players within your fan base. They're not going to buy the next Xbox and go through another gen of mediocre titles or just playing multiplats when there are other choices to play multiplats. And of course, again, some of you are going to say, well, if you don't want an Xbox, don't buy one. That's okay. No, that's not okay. Because if the majority of gamers make that decision, then how the fuck is Xbox going to survive if nobody's buying the platform? Or if very few are buying the platform? How do you expect to continue? The platform needs to be purchased. Hello. Microsoft's not doing it for charity. If you want that platform to grow, it needs to be bought. If you want people to buy it, you have to give them reasons to buy that platform, either as the preferred platform because of exclusives, or at a minimum, a secondary platform because of exclusives. But if all it does is the same shit other platforms are doing, then some people would be like, I might as well just get the other platforms. Because at least other platforms provide stuff that platform can't. That's why you guys have to understand. Stop damage controlling people arguing for exclusives. Stop damage controlling. From the words of Kratos. Don't be sorry. Be better. This is your boy, Puerto Rock 77. I hope you enjoyed the video. And I'll check y'all soon. Hopefully, I'll be able to do a live podcast, maybe tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. But until then, I'm out. About to rock out on some God of War. Peace.